just want to go over some of the key ideas that I find myself thinking about, and that kind of underpin a lot of the more speculative ideas that move through these videos at times. It's just for myself here. I'm just trying to kind of rehearse the ideas to make sure I've got them, really, I suppose, so that I can articulate them to myself. The first one is a kind of evolutionary account of psychology in the broadest sense, which is that we are products of a long evolutionary history, most of which has been spent as very, very different kinds of creatures. Certainly most of which has been spent not as creatures, as primates, and even the time that we have spent as primates, most of that time hasn't been spent with language or with consciousness. Coming out of that, we are effectively walking around in bodies and with brains, initially kind of designed by that evolutionary process for the kind of processes of hunting and gathering at best, designed for the most part not to use language, designed for the most part not to be conscious and reflective of experience, and certainly not to engage in things like science or these kind of higher reaches of culture. Coming out of that, the inevitability of that is that there would be no good reason why our minds, our psyches, would be able to do the things that we can do with them. To quote J.B.S. Haldane, the universe is not only queerer than we suppose, but queerer than we can suppose. The mechanisms of our supposition, our brains, and the kind of minds that those brains are supervenient upon, that kind of supposition mechanism is not really designed for Higgs bosons and black holes and any kind of anything smaller than an ant or larger than a mountain, really. Nothing faster than a certain speed, nothing that endures longer than a particular time frame, that kind of stuff. We have a particular embodiment, and our psyche is mapped to that embodiment. As I say, queerer than we can suppose. But just to continue that, it seems to me that, and not just to me, of course, that the amount of stuff that is queerer than we suppose isn't just, the Higgs bosons, black hole stuff. It's also going to be any kind of abstract concept. We didn't evolve in an environment of abstract concepts. We evolved in an environment of concrete, perceptual experiences. So all these abstract concepts that make up all the interesting stuff, 90% of what we think about, and all the stuff that concerns us on any kind of serious level, is also, in a sense, queerer than we can suppose. But to paraphrase something that Einstein said, the odd thing about the universe, or the odd thing about abstract concepts generally, is that we can understand them, or we do seem to be able to. And so there must be other mechanisms beyond the evolutionarily determined supposition mechanisms, which allow us to suppose things which we shouldn't be able to. And the primary mechanism, it seems to me, is this kind of set of what I'm coming to refer to as poetic mechanisms. Things like metaphor. And metaphor is a kind of key principle in this, coming out of all that work in cognitive linguistics and embodied cognition and conceptual metaphor theory. So the devices and the tricks that we use to suppose the unsupposable are poetic devices. And I'm going to leave it there.